I'm Sarah. Welcome to Power Food Families. I'm a certified health and wellness coach, and my goal is to help families to make healthy eating simple, fun, enjoyable as a family, and be tasty. So today we're going to focus on breakfast, specifically oats. I'm going to do a little series on simple breakfasts that don't take too long, because usually people say, "What do you do for breakfast that is healthy and that doesn't take too long?" I don't want to spend a lot of time on breakfast. I'm the same way. A lot of times I just want to get going with my day. I don't want to spend forever making a big breakfast and then have to clean up, and the kids need to get out the door, so people are going places really early, and I like my sleep and I like my personal time in the morning. So first of all, I'm gonna show you oats in a jar. So I have a bunch of empty jars. This is what my husband takes to work in the morning, because he leaves the house about 5:45 every morning, and he used to just take whatever was available on the counter, which was usually some cookies from the cookie jar, and always a banana. He's eaten a banana every day of our married life for as long as I can remember. So you'll see we have a lot of bananas back. He really likes those. So he would do that, and sometimes a protein shake. And so it wasn't really a great breakfast. So we came up with oats in a jar. It's, a little better than instant oatmeal packages, actually a lot better. You know what's in it, you can make the flavors you want, and it's super affordable. So luckily for me, he doesn't mind eating the same thing every day. The only thing that changes is the flavor in the oats. So I'll do whatever I have available. So I'm going to show you how to do those. Usually I do about 3 weeks worth, which is about 15 jars. You can do as many as you want. The beautiful thing is sometimes you can put some milk in it overnight, and you can do overnight oats. And so for summer, that's especially nice, because then it's kind of cool and refreshing, and it's creamy. And also you can put it in the microwave. So he has a microwave at work. So he'll go work out in the morning and then go to work. He has his dry oats in a jar, and then he'll microwave it it doesn't take very long, a couple minutes, and he has breakfast is ready. So he just puts water in it. But yeah, if you want to do overnight oats, it's super easy. So we're going to make something where you can keep it dry in the cabinet. You don't have to worry about it going bad. And then the night before, if you want to do overnight oats, you can put in some frozen fruit or some fresh fruit. Put in your milk. I like soy milk because the protein content is about the same as dairy, but it's not inflammatory. And I feel like non-dairy milks have a lot more health benefits without the drawbacks. So soy milk has about 8 grams of protein per cup. And then oats are really cool because they are one of the highest protein concentrated cereal grain. So they're amazing. They lower LDL cholesterol. They reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease. They're high fiber, which slows the digestion. They have a soluble fiber, quite a bit of soluble fiber. It slows the digestion, and so that means it will keep you fuller longer, and it contributes to more of a stable blood sugar for better weight and energy management. And then, so that's what I really like about oats. They're simple, they're affordable, and if you have to eat gluten-free, if you have celiacs or you're sensitive to gluten, you can buy gluten-free oats. So I feel like they're just so versatile, and there's a lot of different ways. So oats come in, it's like a whole grain first. This is how they start out. These ones are steel cut oats. That just means the grain is chopped in half. Nothing's taken away. It's just chopped in half. So if you don't like squishy oats after they're cooked, if you don't like them slimy, steel cut oats are really awesome, but they do take longer to cook because there's less inside surface area to cook. So it is going to take longer. So the Instant Pot is your best friend for cooking steel cut oats. You could make a big pot of those and then keep enough for a few days. So make it, set it on a timer during the night, and then you can wake up, you can have some warm oats, and then you can put the extras in the fridge, and then have some steel cut oats for a few days for breakfast, and those are all ready, and you can just add the toppings that you like. So that's one idea. And then at Costco, they have the quick cooking steel cut oats. So ready in 7 minutes. So you could do this easily in the morning, and nothing is taken away. They're just smashed steel cut oats. So it leaves a little bit more surface area to be able to cook quickly. Our bird has been really obnoxious lately. He's in the other room, so don't mind his squawking. But anyway, so the steel cut oats, they're great if you don't like a mushy texture. And then we have regular rolled oats. This is what we're going to use today when I show you how to make the jars of oats. So regular rolled oats, they're just flattened whole oat groats. So they just steamroll them and nothing is taken away. So yes, they might be processed, but they're still full of all the same nutrients. You're still getting all the benefits. So I think that is, they're great because they cook up really fast in the microwave, 1 to 2 minutes, depending on your microwave. And then quick oats, it's similar, but they're just a little more processed. So they're rolled flat and then they're chopped up. So then those are going to be super quick. They're going to be more creamy in your steel cut oats. They're going to cook even quicker in the microwave. So depending on the texture you like, you can choose whatever you like. I like regular rolled oats. You can do thick rolled oats. Those are a little more chewy as well. So that's a little bit about oats. And then, but why breakfast? Why not just skip breakfast if you're in a hurry? You know, some people want to skip breakfast, but it's interesting because they've done studies and they show that those who eat breakfast usually have better weight. And also, if you eat breakfast within 1 to 2 hours of waking, it wakes up your metabolism and it helps you to have that more stable metabolism throughout the day. So you're not going to be starving and reaching for unhealthy snacks when you get really hungry, and it just sets you up for a day. So you can eat, eat something healthy in the morning that's not really heavy or full of sugar. If you can start with something nutritious, then it sets your day up for success. And usually your body's going to want to gravitate toward healthier foods once you start the day that way. So eat your breakfast. It'll boost your metabolism. So eat your breakfast. It'll boost your metabolism. Oh, that bird. And it'll help to burn calories more efficiently throughout the day. And then, but just be careful not to eat empty carbohydrates. So there's a difference between complex carbohydrates and simple carbohydrates. So like a donut, that's going to be full of sugar, full of simple carbs. That means it's going to burn really quickly, and there's hardly any fiber at all. It's not going to last long. You're not going to stay satiated, and it's going to make your energy levels go up. So your blood sugar is going to go up, and then they're going to plummet. Or let's say you start your day with maybe a sausage patty or bacon. So those, when you eat those within about an hour, instead of your blood flowing really easily, as if you're, pouring water, it becomes really, really thick, like a thick gravy or something. And so you're going to feel really sluggish because that energy, that blood is going to get thick with that fat, and it's going to have a hard time moving through your body. So you don't want to start your day with something really heavy and full of fat. You want to start it with some complex carbohydrates that are high in fiber, so they'll keep you feeling full longer, satisfied, and give you the nutrients you need. So if you aim for more whole plant foods, then you're going to set yourself up for a lot of those nutrients that you need at the beginning of the day. A lot of people say, well, what about your protein? Are you going to get enough if you're eating oatmeal for breakfast? I'm going to give you just an idea. So about a half a cup of dry oats is going to be about 7 grams of protein, depending on the oats. Sometimes they're grown to be higher, like 10 grams. And then if you put, let's say, 1 cup of soy milk, you're going to get 8 grams of protein, or dairy milk is about the same. Then you can add, hemp seeds. You can add hemp seeds, about 3 tablespoons is about 10 grams of protein. So hemp seeds are, they're pretty high in protein, one of your highest sources. Chia and flax, you're going to get about 1 gram of protein per tablespoon, give or take. It can be 1 to 2 grams. And then you can do peanut butter. If you're watching your fat, let's say you're eating and you want to lose weight at the time, then you can use like a PB2 powder. So this is going to be less, this is going to have less saturated fat, 87% less fat. See that? So I like this. It's just ground up peanuts, defatted peanuts. So this does contain a little bit of coconut sugar and salt. You can find some without it too. It's a little bit harder to find. But so this is a way to add some protein, creaminess, taste. I like to add whole nuts. So you could do pecans or walnuts, almonds, any kind of nuts, and then you get that healthy fat with the fiber. So again, the fiber helps to slow the blood sugar and well, maintain blood sugar. And so really ideally, so the RDA for about a 150-pound woman for protein is only between about 55 grams of protein. So it's really easy to get all the protein you need. If I like to tell my clients, aim for about 20 grams of protein per meal and you're going to be covered. So there's this big hype on protein right now, but it's really not hard to get what you need to build muscle. I don't know anyone deficient in protein, especially in the US, but about 95% of Americans are deficient in fiber. So you're going to see I'm going to talk a lot about fiber. That's my favorite thing to talk about because that's what people are missing and that's what they need to add to their food. So let's get making some oats in a jar so you have a quick breakfast to take with you as you go and get your day started on the right foot. Okay, as I said, we're going to be doing some rolled oats, and I have 15 jars, something like that. Yeah, so this is about 2 weeks worth. You can use a funnel to help you so you don't spill. I forgot to get my funnel out, so I maybe will make a mess, and that's okay. So I just start by filling all the jars with about a half a cup of oats. If you have someone who's really hungry, you can do a heaping half a cup. When you use a pint jar like this, then they're easy to take with you and they don't boil over. So I like this size with this amount, and then you can put all the toppings you want. So just start with all the oats in the jar. And I like to get screw-on lids. You can use just the metal lids that you might have, but they tend to go rusty. So these ones don't leak. These gray lids, they're a special lid. I think I got mine at Walmart, but they're just a Ball brand. They're leak proof. So I like that when I'm doing, like if my husband's doing overnight oats, then that's really great. If they're dry, you don't have to worry about it. You can use just these white lids that are pretty inexpensive. I think I also got those Walmart, Amazon, all the places. So we're gonna fill up all the jars. And we're just gonna do the basics. I'll show you what I do for all of them for the basics before I change the flavor. So I always add chia seeds for omega-3s. So these are awesome for brain health. Flaxseed is really amazing too. Fiber rich, these both are high in antioxidants. Flax, I really recommend, 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed a day for my clients to get omega-3s naturally. But when they're ground up, that's how your body digests them better. So you always want them ground up when you're eating flaxseed. But since we're going to be sitting these on the shelf, when you grind flaxseed, there's so much oil in them that they tend to go rancid if they're sitting on the shelf for very long. So I like to keep my ground flax in the fridge. And so I'm not going to put them in the oatmeal jars today just because I want the jar. I don't want them to go rancid if they're going to sit there for a while, which they don't, but just in case. So we're going to use chia seeds because they're whole. Your body can digest them pretty well. There's some great soluble fiber in chia seeds, so they kind of gel up and they make it awesome. So I'm going to put about a tablespoon of chia seeds just in case you want to do overnight oats. So when you do the overnight oats, the chia seeds in there help it to gel and be creamy and extra fiber. So if your body is not used to a lot of fiber, then you might want to just start with half a tablespoon. See what your body handles. With fiber, you always want to make sure you're drinking plenty. So at least, 8 cups of water a day at least. You can tell you're getting enough water if your urine is very light in color. So when you're adding fiber to your diet, go low and slow. That's the key to feeling well. But it's so important for your digestion and for long-term health, even for brain health. So what else I like to add is dates. So this is going to be our natural sweetener. So I get these date pieces in our store's bulk bin. So they're pretty easy to find. You can chop up dates. You can use brown sugar if you want. I just like to use a whole food sweetener if I can. And dates are going to be your most nutritious sweetener. There's nothing taken away. They're full of fiber and they're super sweet. So I like to use that. You can use dried fruit too. So depending on how sweet you like it, you decide on what you like. So I like to use dates, probably about a tablespoon of dates. Depends on how sweet you want them. We're going to go with one of these flavors. We're just going to make 2 flavors today. You can make more. It just takes a little more effort. So today we're going to make date and walnut raisin. And then we're going to do berry almond. I have freeze-dried berries, but if you don't want to put in any, if you don't have freeze-dried or dried fruit, you don't have to put any fruit. You can do that the night before you make your oats or the day when you're taking them. And then I always like to add spices for antioxidants, anti-inflammatory. So I really like pumpkin pie spice. I actually make my own spice blend. So I just keep the recipe on the back here. Because I like this, you're going to get, let's say, cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, allspice, cloves. Sometimes when you buy it, it doesn't have the variety, and variety is the spice of life. So the more different plant foods you have in your gut, the healthier it is. So that's kind of a fun thing just a little fun fact. I'm going to put this one, the pumpkin pie spice is going to be for my walnut one. And I don't have a specific measurement. I just tap it and put a bunch in there. Make it however you want. Very precise, I know, very scientific. And then for my berry one, I'm just going to do cinnamon. You could do nutmeg instead. I don't know. I don't know how my husband likes it. He doesn't really say. He just eats it. He doesn't complain. Probably because if he complains, he'd have to make it himself. Ha ha. Okay, so I have that. So this is all basic flavor. So if you want to put, let's say, add extra protein, you could use hemp seeds. I just like to store them like this. It's easy to shake in. So if you're a muscle builder or you feel like you're not getting very much protein during the day, you can add these to your oats. I'm not going to add those today, but I have some ground walnuts. So we're going to do 1/8 cup. So this is about 2 tablespoons. So this one's going to have ground walnuts. Walnuts are also great for omega-3s. They're a great healthy fat. If you're worried about weight, just don't overdo it on nuts for the day because they are higher in fat, which means they're higher in calories. But they're great with a balanced diet. If you're not overdoing it, then you're good. There's a reason they come in a shell. It takes a little more effort to eat them, and there's a reason for that. So I like to get slivered almonds just because they're easier. You could chop up almonds and put them in. This is the lazy way. We don't have a lot of time, so we use I guess I could measure, right? That'd probably be good. Okay, I'll measure. This doesn't have to be perfect. This is the beautiful thing. We're not aiming for perfection. So about 2 tablespoons of nuts. Kind of messily, that's okay. We'll clean up at the end. And then the fun part, you get to add the flavors. So I can get these blueberries at our Winco or a Walmart. Augustin Farms, they're freeze-dried. So it's awesome. You just have a whole can and they're great. So I'm gonna do 1/4 cup of fruit in mine. So I thought of doing strawberries, but I'm not. We're just gonna do blueberries. I also have freeze-dried strawberries, but we'll save those for another day. So another fun thing with a blueberry flavoring is you can there's a powdered vanilla. It usually it's kind of sugar-based, but it's a powdered vanilla. It's fun, gives it a fun flavor. So that's one way to flavor them up. If you like vanilla with your blueberries, don't put the liquid because you want it to stay dry on the shelf. And then we're gonna do this one. We need raisins to go with the date. And I have raisins right here. Very basic raisins. About 1/4 cup. However much fruit you want. This helps to add the sweetness to your oats. And so you can be satisfied without adding extra sugar. No added sugar in these. It's beautiful. And then I just give them a little shake and put them in the cabinet. And they're good to go. Enough breakfast for 2 weeks for my husband, who leaves super early in the morning. Now for my kids, when we do oatmeal, I just do a pot of oats on the stove. And it's easy enough that way. So there you have it. Put the lid on. Give it a shake. If you're coordinated enough to put the lid on, give it a shake. Put it in the cabinet. I have a dedicated spot. And then when I wash the jars, I just put them back in the cabinet with where I keep the filled oat jars. And then when they're all empty, I know I have to make some more. So that's a great way to get going with your breakfast and have a super powerful day. So I hope you give these a try, and then tell me what you think. Tell me how you like your oats. Maybe share some flavors with me. There's lots of different flavors. You could do peach, you could do, yeah, whatever flavor. Share it with me. I'm curious to know. And then you can like and subscribe down below, and I try to update the videos every Friday. So enjoy, and I hope you have a great weekend.